LV County Championship 2nd Division leaders Lancashire kept themselves well on top of Leicestershire on the second day of their match at Grace Road as they looked to further their promotion ambitions. The visitors had the better of the first day, in which they made 303 for 5, but they lost Tom Smith to the second ball of the second morning as he turned Matthew Hoggard to James Sykes. Luke Proctor was the other overnight batsman. Resuming his innings on 37, he began brightly enough, raising his half-century in the morning's fifth over with his seventh boundary. Proctor had needed 102 balls for this 50, and he was the fourth Lancashire man of the innings to get to that mark. Oddly, not one had gone on to make a really telling score. Proctor had a chance of doing so with Gareth Cross for company. Lancashire were making their intentions clear. Both batsmen were positive as they brought up a 50-run partnership in only 9 overs to make it another frustrating morning for a Leicestershire side who was still to win a 4-day game this summer. Their attack had a good half hour though, as Lancashire lost their last 4 wickets in a hurry. On 67, Proctor holed out off Sykes at 367 for 7. Cross followed in the next over for 33, driving Ollie Freckingham to Greg Smith in the covers. Glenn Chappell gave the young quick his 3rd wicket of the innings with a very similar dismissal, before Freckingham grabbed his 32nd championship wicket in his debut season as Simon Kerrigan nicked off. Lancashire had lost their last 4 wickets for just 13 runs to be bowled out for 380, Freckingham taking 4 for 85. Leicestershire made a change at the top of their order, and Michael Thornley lived a charmed life before lunch. Twice in the space of 2 balls he was dropped in the slip cordon, first in Chappell's opening over and then off Kyle Hogg's starter. Hogg instead removed Smith in his next over, Andrea Agathangalu this time clinging on as the batsman went for 4. It was another nervy start for Leicestershire, who not for the first time this summer looked to Ned Eckersley to hold them up. Either side of the lunch break he found the boundary as he dominated the early scoring. Thornley had survived for an hour in making his 8 runs. At one point, no runs were scored at all by either batsman for 45 deliveries. But Thornley was then dismissed by offering Lewis Rees some catching practice off Smith. Having switched ends, Chappell then uprooted Eckersley's off stump on 25. While 10 balls later, Kerrigan struck early in his spell as Matt Boyce was taken at short leg by Agathangalu. That left the Championship's bottom club in a mess once more on 46 for 4. 231 was their initial target to avoid the follow-on, and to do that they now needed things to change. Niall O'Brien, a man who's been opening all summer, came in at number 6 and stopped the rot before some rain arrived. He made the most of some poor balls from Kerrigan and looked to be positive as he dominated a 5th wicket stand of 49 with Shiv Thakur. With O'Brien on 33 and his side on 95 for 4, the rain then arrived and the players didn't return until after 5. O'Brien then took his side into 3 figures and his own tally to 41, with his partnership with Thakur realising 65 runs. The gritty Irishman then dragged a ball from Chappell back onto his stumps to open things up again for Lancashire. That wicket, which came with a score on 111 for 5, brought first-class debutant Tom Wells to the crease for his first innings. The 20-year-old from Grantham couldn't have had many tougher starts than against Chappell, but for a while he looked in good shape as he got his career going with a couple of neat boundaries. He also had some fortune. He drilled a ball back to Kerrigan, who spilled the tough chance, before he somehow got away without being bowled from this delivery from the left-arm spinner. At the other end, Thakur had faced 129 balls in making 34, but he couldn't survive until the end. His 130th delivery was his last one as he edged Kerrigan to Ashwell Prince. And 2 balls later, Wells on 9 was trapped in front by Hogg, both wickets coming right at the end of another good day for Lancashire. They will now hope that the forecast rains stay away. They have their hosts on 127 for 7, which leaves Leicestershire still needing 104 more runs to avoid the follow-on, and that looks a very long way off with only the tail left to bat.